My name is Sujin, and today I want to share a powerful message that may explain some of the struggles you have been facing in your life. Have you ever noticed that the closer you try to get to God, the more challenges seem to appear? Have you ever wondered why some people experience greater hardships than others? Why do some people choose the right path, yet still face pain, rejection, and difficult battles? Why does it sometimes feel as if people suddenly begin to drift away from you? Friends change. Family members may no longer understand you. Deep inside, a question begins to rise. God, if I am following your path, why am I facing so many trials? The Bible reveals a profound truth. The people God chooses for a special purpose rarely live ordinary lives. Their journeys are often filled with struggles because God does not choose them merely for comfort. He chooses them to prepare them for a greater calling. We see this throughout Scripture. Joseph was chosen by God, yet he was betrayed by his own brothers. David was chosen to become king, yet he spent years hiding in the wilderness. Jeremiah was rejected and mocked by those around him. Even Jesus Christ was rejected by many of his own people. If you have been experiencing pain that others do not understand, if you have ever felt different from the world around you, it may not be a coincidence. God may be preparing you for something greater than you can currently see. There are 5 deep pains that often appear in the lives of God's chosen people. The first pain is rejection. Sometimes people begin to distance themselves from you for reasons you cannot explain. Friends who were once close suddenly pull away. Family members may no longer understand your decisions. You search for answers, but find none. Because you have done something wrong. It is because God is doing something new in your life. As you grow spiritually, your life begins to reflect a different light, and not everyone is comfortable with that light. Joseph experienced this pain when his own brothers rejected him because of the dreams God had given him. Jesus also experienced rejection when many refused to believe in him. Rejection is not always a sign of failure. Sometimes it is evidence that God is leading you on a path that others cannot understand. The second pain is deep loneliness. This is not simply being alone. It is the feeling of being surrounded by people while still feeling misunderstood. You smile, talk, and participate in life, yet deep inside, there is a sense that nobody truly understands what is happening within you. Many of God's servants experience this. Jesus felt this loneliness in the Garden of Gethsemane when his disciples could not stay awake and support him during one of the most difficult moments of his life. God often allows seasons of solitude so that his voice becomes clearer than the noise of the world. Sometimes the greatest spiritual growth happens in places where there is no crowd, only God and you. The third pain is the constant inner struggle. Outwardly, everything may appear normal, but inwardly, there is a battle. Desire to please God. Pray faithfully and live a holy life. Yet human weakness continues to challenge you. You may struggle with distractions, discouragement, temptation, or doubt. The Apostle Paul described this struggle when he wrote about wanting to do what is right, but often finding himself battling against his own weaknesses. Does not mean your faith is weak. In many cases, it is evidence that God is actively working within you. Every time you rise after falling, every time you return to God, despite your weakness, your faith becomes stronger. The fourth pain is the pain of sacrifice. God sometimes asks us to release things that are precious to us. These things are not always sinful. They may be good things, comfortable things, familiar things, yet God knows they may prevent us from stepping fully into our purpose. Abraham was asked to leave his homeland and everything familiar to follow God's direction. Moses left the comfort and privilege of a royal palace to pursue God's calling. Chosen people often face difficult decisions between comfort and purpose. Others may not understand those choices, but obedience often requires walking a path that few are willing to follow. The fifth pain is the pain of waiting. God places dreams, promises, and visions within our hearts, yet their fulfillment often takes much longer than expected. Days become months, and months become years. During that waiting period, it can feel as though God has become silent. Joseph waited through betrayal, slavery, false accusations, and imprisonment before seeing God's promise fulfilled. David waited years between being anointed king and actually becoming king. What seemed like delay was actually preparation. God was strengthening their character for the blessings He had planned for them. The same is true for us. God is not always delaying His promise. Often, He is preparing us for it. The waiting season teaches patience, deepens faith, and develops dependence upon God. If you are experiencing any of these pains today, remember this: your suffering is not meaningless. Every tear you have cried, every silent prayer you have whispered, and every moment you felt misunderstood has been seen by God. Psalm 34, verse 18, declares that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. When the world does not understand you, God remains near. One day you will look back and realize that every struggle, every sacrifice, every season of loneliness, and every period of waiting was preparing you for the purpose God created you to fulfill. My name is Sujan, and I want to leave you with this encouragement. God did not choose you by accident. Your life was created with purpose. Trust Him through every season, because the story He is writing in your life is greater than anything you can currently imagine.